Welcome to the Wake Up, the broadcast where curiosity leads to deeper understanding. I'm your host, Douglas James Cottrell, and my good friend and co-host Les Hubert is here with me, along with editor Jack Balick, as we delve into the fascinating realms of life, metaphysics, spirituality, and the pressing questions that shape our world. Each episode, we're exploring intriguing topics, engaging with experts, and seeking insights that enlighten and inspire. Whether you're a seeker, a scholar, or just curious about the universe, Wake Up is your gateway to a richer understanding of what it truly means to be alive. Good morning, Les. We're all set for another episode of the Wake Up. What's on the menu today?
What's on the menu, Doug, is fear. There seems to be a great amount of it out there. I even have clients have told me that some of their kids are trying to take medication because the fear is just getting out of control. They're wondering what's going on. They don't know how to handle it, and they're very concerned. So how do we handle fear? Right? Can we heal it? Can we walk away from it? What do we do?
Well, a long time ago, I came to this revelation. Fear does not exist. There is no such thing as fear. So that's a startling statement to make. But fear really doesn't exist. It's contemplation, worry, anticipation of something that hasn't yet happened. So whatever you're afraid of isn't fear. Fear does not exist. So it's the things that make you worried or afraid or out of sorts that test your willingness to proceed in life. So the idea that, first of all, fear doesn't exist. And here's a test. Les, reach out and give me a hand of fear right now.
Hmm.
Can't
Uh,
do it. So it's not tangible, therefore it's not real. So there are conditions, which fear is, the same as happiness doesn't exist. It's a condition. And so that takes us to, well, okay, if fear doesn't exist, fear might be a condition. What's a condition? And so a condition is something you manufacture yourself, my friends. Wake up. You are bringing this on yourself. You are putting things in your mind that don't exist. You are anticipating something that has not happened. You are wondering and worrying about what is going to happen, but the future isn't here yet. So how do you know that's going to happen? And chances are when the future date comes, it's going to be in a moment and you'll find out what the decision is, the problem, the circumstance, the confrontation, and it's over in a minute. But all those days and hours and minutes that you were going over this problem in your mind, creating a condition that led you to this fear condition that doesn't exist, that is the culprit. And so we say to ourselves, excuse me, what about fear? I don't want to fear something. Well, no, change the condition. What do you mean? Well, if you're afraid of somebody breaking in your house, put locks on your doors, put bars on your windows, and you've changed the condition. No more need to fear. But people do.
hmm.
So the point being is that it's in your mind, it's in your life, it's your condition, it's in your environment. And what do you need to do? Well, number one, change something. So move out of the neighborhood if it's a spooky neighborhood. If it's a bar or a room or a restaurant where things don't look well, leave. If you have debts to pay and you're worried about the IRS coming after you, go talk to a lawyer and handle it. Nip it in the bud. Get the lawyer, the consultant, or yourself, call up and say, do I owe you any money? They're
Hmm.
going to say, no. Oh my God, after all that worry and fear, they're going to come and take all your assets away. You don't owe them money. What happened? Well, fear blinded you. Your mind is out of control. Your mind is rapidly galloping away down the road of condition, and it's all a fantasy. Now, make no mistake. We have emotions, and I know how to feel fear and terror, and I've been terrorized in my life. I felt grief. I felt loss. I felt abandonment. I've been chastised. I've had people turn against me. I know what it's like. Those are all nasty feelings. As I keep accepting them, I keep getting worse and worse feelings. But what if I didn't care? I didn't try to people please and say, yeah, that's your opinion. Poof. What happens? Well, it's like taking a little pin in the side of a balloon, right? It goes pop and it's
Mm,
gone. No, it
mm,
doesn't exist. So understanding, this is not psychology, this is just simple understanding that in order to overcome fear, it's to first of all to understand what it is or is not. And if you can give me a hand of fear, okay. If you gave me a live hand grenade and pulled a pin, that's fear. I
mm,
understand that, but I'm going to throw it away. No more fear. And so you can do this in life. And attempting to come to that wisdom, that self-assurance, that confidence in yourself is to know that if you're in a situation, a place, or a circumstance or group of people that you're not comfortable with, leave. Don't be worried that, oh, where'd they go? Or what's the matter with them? Or, that they're going to be concerned about you. Chances are they're not. They're just going to carry on with their dinner, have another drink, and say, I don't know what got into them. They left. Okay, so what's next? So
mm,
getting to control yourself, your thinking, and balance your emotions by simply being disinterested in what other people think about you. We all worry what other people are saying about us. Chances are they're not saying anything, but in our mind, they're all chattering and telling rumors and slander about us. That does happen, that's for sure. But when somebody tells a lie about you or they slander your name, remember two things. One, they're showing you their spiritual poverty, their immaturity, their emotional immaturity, and most importantly, you don't have any control over your reputation anyway. They could say what they want. And you
mm.
going and fighting and saying you're wrong and you're this, they're not going to change. You can't change somebody's mind. They have mental reservations. They say, oh, yes, you're right. Absolutely. You walk away. What a jerk they were. So don't try. Don't bother. Just remember, you have one thing that they cannot take away, and that is your character. And all the prophets, all the saints, all the people that have gotten anywhere in the world with great and wonderful things and inventions all took criticism,
Mm.
rejection, and they were sometimes humiliated and sometimes even destroyed. But their idea, their invention always was something successful for the world when it was accepted and proven by people who were not narcissistic, for whatever reason, attempting to shut down somebody's idea. Perhaps they were jealous of it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a little bit straying from the question about what fear is, but it comes back to you having good character in yourself. First thing, don't run away. You're in a crowd of people, somebody comes up and starts, you're this and you're that, whatever, you just sit there and you don't get emotionally triggered. Another way to master fear is don't to be triggered into an emotion that you're not experiencing, weren't experiencing before. And you sit there calmly and you say, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's not the truth. Oh, you mean it isn't? Nope, not at all. Oh, okay. And they go away. But you are in control. You're masterminding the moment. You're keeping the emotions on yourself in control. You're not allowing something else to trigger you, to come into your mind and produce fear, anxiety, worry, even hatred. And so
Mm.
as you sit back and you say, okay, number one, doesn't matter what people say about me, doesn't matter what people think about me. Next week, next month, they won't be thinking about me. Matter of fact, an hour from now, they won't be thinking about me either. Oh, but you will, if you accept their laundry, dirty laundry, you will have that churning around in your mind for all evening long, if not all day and all weekend. So you
Mm.
stop it. You press the button and say, wait a minute, that doesn't exist. So getting to fear, getting to anything of any negative, derogatory thoughts toward yourself, you don't have to accept them. Wake
Mm.
up. Don't accept them. Say, no, you're wrong.
Mm.
What are they going to do? As long as you don't engage them and start the argument, because they're looking for an argument, you see, you say, no, you're wrong. Well, you could be right. You know,
Right.
you're
Right.
right. Okay, fine. You could be right. Hmm. And so as you do this, practicing, you get to the point of saying, mind is the builder, mind is the way. Famous quote from many soothsayers, philosophers, wise men. Mind is the builder. What is the mind? Not accepting what's in somebody else's mind.
Oh, all right. Mm.
Kick it out. Two, You have your own character. You could say, well, when I got up this morning, I thought I was a pretty good person. I'm going to go back in that bed tonight and I'm going to say to myself, what a day. Wow, I survived. So, and what's next? And so if you can get it thinking along that way, it takes a little ambition, takes a little self-talking to, it's okay to talk to yourself, work things out. That's fine. You're not cuckoo. And you talk to yourself there, like a parent to a child. It's okay. We did all right. Yeah. Yeah, we said something we shouldn't have said. Yeah, maybe I'll call so-and-so up and I'll apologize. Or, well, I'll just let it go and see what happens. Chances are nothing's going to come about it. And so as you start to look at how do I stop fear from getting in my mind? Well,
Um,
don't accept it. Number two, don't believe what somebody else says just because they say it with authority. You are a bad person. You did this. I saw you do that. Oh my gosh. Well, no, the answer is really, maybe you got me mixed up with somebody else.
mm,
And
mm,
whatever you say, you could be right, could be wrong, and you walk away. You don't let anybody trigger you out of your peaceful mind or peaceful heart. If you can keep your peace at all times, you are way ahead of everybody else. And so when you sit down and say, I'm afraid, yes, you are. Go talk to somebody. Not somebody that's going to chastise you or tell you, yeah, you're wrong or you deserve it. Go to talk to somebody and say, hey, I've been there too. Yeah, that happened to me. I'm still
mhm,
here.
mhm,
Get some
mhm.
advice from people who've had that experience. Do not
Right,
go for advice for people who did not have that experience because they don't know what they're talking about.
right, right.
They might give you some good pointers, but they don't know because they haven't had the experience. So you talk to people who've had the experience, you tell them, you lay it out, and you say, this is what should I do? They'll tell you things, and you either can accept it or not. You can do it or not. It's up to you. But most
Mm,
importantly, let's take the computer problems. When our computers are going a little wacky, cell phones, whatever, what's the first thing we do to self-correct? We turn it off.
mm. A reboot.
Reboot. And that's how you have to do, my friends, when you're afraid. Turn it off, reboot. Don't let those emotions go crazy. Go have a nice warm drink of hot chocolate or something else that settles you down. And say, okay, well, hey, we've been here before. Teenage suicides and things with younger people happen because they don't have the experience. They don't have previous disappointments, previous hurts emotionally, been in love, fallen out of love. They don't have that experience, and so the weak ones perish. The
Sure.
stronger ones endure like us. We've all had those things. So when somebody is on the edge, suicidal or whatnot, you go to them and you say, look, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, you have free will and free choice. But I implore you, hang in there because next year, next month, next time, you're going to realize, thank God I didn't, because
Mm,
you're going to know more. And so when you're vulnerable and you're not strong, then the emotions, the conditions overtake you. And to be bullied is one of the worst things that can happen to anybody, young or old. Being bullied is part of life. You need a support group, you need a community, you need an organization that know you. And when you say, boy, did I ever screw up today, I blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, I did that too, like shame on you, you shouldn't have. And you go, yeah, I know. And somebody says, are you ever going to do that again? And you say, absolutely not. Say, good. That was an excellent lesson. That's going to save you in the future. But if you have a support group and you talk things out and you talk to people where these things have happened, and they don't admonish you, they don't belittle you, they don't tell you to self-correct, they don't give you silly advice, then you're talking to somebody who can pat you on the back and say, well, yeah, you got a bruise. You'll get over it. But not in the sense of, yeah, you'll get over it. It's like, you'll get over it, and this is how you're going to get over it. And so when that happens, it's like somebody give you a hand grenade.
right.
If you're paralyzed with fear, it's going to blow up in your face. But if you look at it and say, I don't want this, and you throw it away, nothing is going to happen. And so part of the secret of handling fear is handling the conditions that bring on the fear. If you get rid of the conditions, bye bye fear doesn't exist. Wake
Mm.
up, my friends. It doesn't exist. But you're going to come to that on your own point of view, your own reckoning. I know you're saying to me, sure, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe. Or maybe you're saying, Douglas, you and Les are absolutely right. Yeah, that happened to me too. Whatever you're saying, it's up to you. Wake up. You have to
Mm.
solve this situation. You have to handle it. Not me, not less. The way we handle these things is the way we handle them, different from you. Remember, there's 144 different patterns of people out there in the world. You are one of those patterns. That means there's 143 different ways of handling any situation in life.
Mm.
The way you
Wow.
handle it is don't let the conditions build. Don't let the conditions become so immense that you become buried into this quagmire of self-pity, of failure, of giving up. Break
Mm.
out, wake up, get those elbows going. Get out of town. Hey, you want to see what you're trying to stop me? You want to see what I can do? Watch me. Many times, Les, you've probably heard stories where people have been told that'll never work. You're crazy. And what did the person do? They dug in their heels and they made it happen. And then after it was invented, they come back to the same people who said it'll never work. Say, what do you think of that? And say, that was lucky.
Yeah. When I was a little boy, I remember my grandparents were petrified, especially my grandmother. She was petrified of lightning, and we would go up to visit them every weekend. And it was a lightning storm going on, a thunderstorm. And my father walks in with me and by my hand, and he sees my grandmother clutching her rosaries. And he's going, okay. And he grabs me by the hand and he goes, and we stand in the midst of this wonderful thunderstorm. Not dangerously so. We weren't standing under a tree. And I said, and I'm looking, he goes, see this? He said, don't be afraid of this. He said, as long as you know what you're doing, do not be afraid. He couldn't stand that kind of fear. And he was always calm and cool. And I said, Dad, how do you do this? And he said, well, when you were in the Navy and you survived typhoons in mid-ocean, he said, you learn how to control your fear. But I always was inspired by that. He just didn't let fear bother him. He said, you just know how to handle it. You stay cool and calm and connect. And I was like, wow. And instead of clutching, and sitting there and shivering in fear, I was always inspired by that. So thank you, Doug, for some great information.
Well, your uncle, or you say your dad or your uncle? I mean,
My dad, yeah.
yeah, your dad was wise because he had the experiences of going through those typhoons. But I'll bet you when he was like 17 or 18 or 19 years old on a big ship and the waves are over the bow, he was hanging on to that pole wherever he was, terrified. And
Yeah.
after the storm was over, it was like, hey, it wasn't so bad. And the
Mm.
next one got easier, the next one. So that brings out a good point where I've seen people who are afraid of spiders. The way they became afraid of spiders was that their mommy or grandmother was afraid of spiders. And so when
Uh,
the spider it was like, ah. And so the child didn't know what to help. What spider must be scary. Ah. And they grew up with the same phobia or fear. So the reverse is true. But your dad was very wise in saying, when you live through some tough times, this is nothing. And that, my friends, is how you live your life because you will go through many life lessons. Every 10 years, there'll be a major life lesson, and every week there's a lesson. And the more you go through, the more you get to be numb from being taken aside and fearful, distracted, and people being able to push your buttons. That's how propaganda works. They tell you, look out, they're coming for your children. They're going to get you. All this stuff is going to be happening while they're sitting at an anchor desk on the other side of the TV. How do they know that? They
mm,
don't.
yeah.
So you have to discern what people say to you. That's part of wisdom. And again, as you get older and humans, as you know, humans, you begin to understand like, oh, okay, yes, chocolate's going to kill me. It's going to give me a heart attack. A couple of years go by. No, chocolate's good to have. It's a nutritious food.
Yeah.
It's coffee you have to look out for. A couple of years go by. No, coffee's good. It stimulates you, gets your caffeine. Cigarettes are terrible. They're going to kill you. Well, 2 or 3 cigarettes a day is okay for some people. Wine, look out. That's going to kill you. Heart attacks. Well, wait a minute. A glass of wine every day is good for your health. Those are real stories I've heard in my lifetime.
Mm.
So wake up, everybody. Listen to Les and I as we continue to explore these amazing questions you have. Please send them in. We'd love to hear them. We'll address them on air. Look at the email address or the website that you'll see in the banner. And remember, we're here for you. We're just getting started, and your participation makes all the difference. Don't forget to like us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and do everything you can to let everybody know that we're here. Spread the word. For more information, how to keep up with our latest episode and what's coming up on this exciting Wake Up channel, you can visit our websites, and we look forward to exploring more questions and uncovering more secrets with you. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and stay awake. I'm your host, Douglas Cottrell. Until next time, God bless you, my friends.
I was thinking, Douglas, the hat kind of covers your eyes sometimes, so maybe it's better without it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the secrets of the universe. Ready? Just a minute. Me and the boys, we want to talk to you in the back room.
Probably better without it.
And hey, we shared the same haircut, right? So.
Wow.